Ever wondered what are the most common mistakes that land taxpayers in hot water with the IRS? It's a question that tends to keep many awake at night, especially as the tax season looms ominously on the horizon. The truth is, tax filing can be a labyrinth of complexities and intricate rules. A single misstep can plunge you into a taxing nightmare with the IRS. Now, imagine if you had a dedicated team of professionals guiding you through this labyrinth, ensuring you avoid these pitfalls. This is where Metro Accounting and Tax Services CPA Atlanta steps in. With their expertise and commitment, they've been the guiding light for many taxpayers, helping them navigate the often treacherous terrain of taxes. Call them at 404-990-3365 or schedule a free tax consultation at metroaccountingandtaxes.com. But what are these pitfalls, these common mistakes that can turn the tax season into a nightmare? And more importantly, how can you avoid them? Stay tuned to discover these costly mistakes and how to avoid them. Did you know that the IRS estimates that about 17% of taxpayers fail to comply with the tax code in some way? Now, let's dive into some surprising facts and figures about tax filing. According to the IRS, the average American spends about 13 hours preparing their tax returns. That's more than half a day dedicated to figuring out those complex forms and calculations. Yet despite all this time and effort, about 1 in 5 taxpayers make an error on their tax return. That's a whopping 20%. The most common mistakes range from simple errors like incorrect social security numbers or math miscalculations, to more complex issues, such as not reporting all income or incorrectly claiming deductions and credits. Now you might be thinking, well, a small mistake here and there can't be that bad, right? Unfortunately, that's not the case. The IRS can impose penalties for these mistakes, and they are not lenient. In fact, the penalty for filing a return with errors can be as high as 20% of the unpaid amount. Plus, interest charges are added to this, starting from the due date of the return until the date of payment. And it doesn't stop there. If you fail to file your tax return altogether, the penalty can be even steeper, at 5% of the unpaid taxes for each month your return is late, up to a maximum of 25%. For those who file more than 60 days late, the minimum penalty is either $200 or 100% of the unpaid tax, whichever is smaller. To make matters worse, the IRS sent out over 2 million math error notices in 2022 alone. That's a lot of people potentially facing hefty penalties. With these staggering figures, it's clear that avoiding tax mistakes is crucial. But don't worry, we're here to help you navigate this complex terrain. In the next scene, we'll delve into the most common tax mistakes and provide some tips on how to avoid them. Until then, keep in mind the importance of accurate and timely tax filing. Remember, it's not just about paying your taxes, it's about doing it right. So what are these common tax mistakes that cause so much trouble? You might be surprised to learn that some of the most common tax blunders are also the simplest to avoid. One of the most frequent errors is choosing the incorrect filing status. Filing status impacts your tax rate and the deductions you're eligible for, so it's critical to get this right. Single, married filing jointly, married filing separately, head of household, or qualifying widower with dependent child. Each status has different criteria, and selecting the wrong one can lead to an incorrect calculation of your tax liability. Next, don't underestimate the power of the humble calculator. Mathematical errors are another common mistake. Whether it's adding up deductions, calculating taxable income, or figuring out the tax owed, a simple miscalculation can have significant consequences. It may result in an overpayment, or worse, underpayment of taxes, which could attract unwanted attention from the Internal Revenue Service. And speaking of attracting the IRS's attention, nothing does it quicker than missing deadlines. The IRS is very particular about when they expect to receive your tax returns and payments. If you're late, even by a day, you could face penalties and interest charges that add up quickly. Don't forget about the importance of reporting all income. Whether it's a side gig, rental income, or even a cash gift, the IRS wants to know about it. Failing to report all income can lead to audits and, in severe cases, legal action. Lastly, overlooking deductions or credits is like leaving money on the table. There are numerous tax deductions and credits available that can significantly reduce your tax liability. But to take advantage of these, you need to know what they are and how to claim them. Remember, These mistakes can lead to penalties, audits, and even legal trouble. So it's always worth taking the time to understand the tax laws, or better yet, consult with a professional like Metro Accounting and Tax Services 404-990-3365, your trusted CPA in Atlanta, to ensure your taxes are done right. You can also schedule your no-cost tax consultation at metroaccountingandtaxes.com. Now that you're aware of these common mistakes, how can you avoid them, you might ask? Well, the answer is simple, and it begins with being proactive. One of the best ways to avoid tax mistakes is to hire a professional. Yes, there are experts out there who specialize in navigating the labyrinth of tax regulations. Consider engaging a service like Metro Accounting and Tax Services, CPA Atlanta. They have the knowledge and experience to ensure you're not leaving any money on the table or making costly errors. Next, double-check your calculations. Even if you're using tax software, it doesn't hurt to run the numbers again. Remember, software is only as accurate as the information you input. Finally, don't procrastinate. File your taxes on time. This not only helps you avoid late penalties, but also gives you ample time to rectify any mistakes that might crop up. By following these tips, you can avoid the IRS tax nightmare. In the whirlwind of tax season, it's easy to forget the important points. So let's recap. The IRS tax nightmare can be avoided by steering clear of common tax mistakes. These include filing late, misreporting income and expenses, and overlooking deductions and credits. The consequences of these errors can be quite severe, ranging from penalties and interest to audits, and in worst-case scenarios, legal action. Avoiding such mistakes is not rocket science. First, ensure you file your taxes on time. Second, be meticulous in reporting your income and expenses. Don't neglect deductions and credits that you're eligible for, and if you're unsure, don't hesitate to consult a professional. They can provide invaluable guidance and help you navigate the complexities of tax filing. With this knowledge, you are now better equipped to avoid the IRS tax nightmare. Remember, when in doubt, reach out to professionals like Metro Accounting and Tax Services, CPA Atlanta. 404-990-3365 or schedule your no-cost tax consultation today at metroaccountingandtaxes.com.